Hello and welcome. My name is Katie. I am a remote online notary in the state of Florida. And if you're new to the channel, I love going over the different processes and some of the tips and tricks that I've found to be helpful as I am going through my journey as a small business owner. So one of the things that I keep running into, and I hear from notaries all the time, is that when they are trying to promote themselves as a remote online notary to these different title companies, what they get back or the pushback that they get is that it is not available to them yet because of their lender or their underwriter. That is a very common thing. The reason behind that usually is that the lenders or underwriters are worried about fraud. Usually what I say, they are still under the assumption that remote online notarization has more fraud rather than less for mobile notarization. I use that as an education point if the situation calls for it, to go over some of the safety features that remote online notarization has that in-person does not. Two-factor authentication, the recording of the whole entire session, and then just the visual inspection of the ID by the notary. All of those are usually what I argue that there is less fraud, but if you want to, you can take it a step further and ask if you can contact the lender or the underwriter that the title company usually uses, because there are new updates to both the lenders and the underwriters that sometimes allow remote online notarization to happen for some of these loan documents and closings. And so either the title company or the underwriter or the lender might not always be aware of that. Usually what I try and do is say, oh, I just want to see if I can reach out to the lender or the underwriter to see about if they have updated that and if there's any changes to their policy. So that is a thing that you can do. Sometimes you run into hard stops where they're just like, stop asking us, we're not going to do it. And that's not happening anytime soon. But I had the unique opportunity to go over to a fairly large conference over in Las Vegas that had a bunch of different mortgage industry people. And the conversation is 100% changing to them being more open-minded about remote online notarization and the fact that it, I believe, does cut down on fraud just because of all of the safety features that are in place for remote online notarization. That is something to kind of have a conversation with these title companies, ask them if you can speak to the underwriter, let them know that there are safety features in place. What used to happen before, and I've talked to multiple different title companies, is that the notaries weren't necessarily using all of the safeguards that they were before now, as far as the platforms and just making sure that they're doing everything by the book. That sometimes is the assumption that these title companies and these underwriters have, is that it is not as well regulated as what it is now. That is an education point for you. The other thing to kind of say is, okay, well, just in case anything changes, keep my information. And also, if you have either a cash deal, which usually doesn't have a mortgage or a loan or any underwriters, or if you have a seller's package, let me know. So that is usually what I kind of go and leave them with, just in case there's any type of changes. It keeps their mind open. And then obviously I would always send a follow-up email with the word notary, with the word remote, and with the word virtual, just in case they can't remember exactly your name or your business. If they look you up in their email system, they'll be able to find you that way. So that is just kind of something that I wanted to leave with you. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have another notary or a remote online notary in your life, feel free to share. And thank you for hanging out with me.